Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So once again, compliment of the season. How are you enjoying the holidays? We are all gearing up for the new year and I hope everybody's ready. I wish you guys a happy new year. I am enjoying the holidays myself. That's why I've not been able to film. Please bear with me. So I'll try and film as soon as possible. So I'll be back on the screen. So before we get into today's video, my usual disclaimer, please, this video is strictly for educational purposes. Do not go searching out anybody that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comment, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So I came across this video that was made by a black man and he had an observation, a very interesting observation. Let me just go right ahead and play his video.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this. I can feel it coming. Probably lose a lot of followers too. I don't care. I'm saying it anyway. Y'all can call it a coincidence. Y'all can say, oh, well, you don't really know what's going on in their relationship. And that may be true. But I can only say what it is that I see and what I have heard. Every black woman that I know that formerly was with a black man and is now either married or with a white man is happy. I don't know why. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with black men. I'm a black man, as you can see. What I'm saying is exactly what I said. Every black woman that I know that is with a white man is happy.
Yeah, so we're back to talking about interracial relationships. I realized that the issue of divesting and interracial relationships is very big these days. As a matter of fact, it speaks a lot of people's interest. You know, we have a lot of interracial couples that are getting popular and making a lot of money on social media because people just seem to eat up this content created by interracial couples. Like, they have so many people that are interested in watching what it's like being married when you're from two different races, which usually is a black person with maybe a palm color person or an Asian person, anything aside black. So this man obviously had studied the trend and came out to make that video. So there's just something about interracial relationships that people seem to glorify these days. And before I give you guys my opinion, let me just go right ahead and play people's stitches and commentary and responses to what he had to say.
Now, either married or with a white man is happy.
Me personally, I don't care who anybody dates. I really don't. Do whatever makes you happy. But it really amazes me, bro. We can't. People always trying to shit on us straight black men. Like, god damn, we can't live, huh? I tell you this, most women that go over to their side and get them one of them, they do it because they want light-skinned kids with good hair. They don't do to them what they do to us. Then they get them and try to turn them into us. They next thing you know, their haircuts different, they dress different. They try to make them look just like us, which is weird to me. Like, do whatever makes you happy. Don't nobody care. But it's crazy because when the brother get them a white girl, y'all call him everything but a child of God. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
I don't know why.
So I totally know. I'm a dating coach. I've been a dating coach for 13 years for black and brown women. And I want you all to know that a black woman and a white man combination has one of the lowest divorce rates. There are a couple of reasons for that. One, if a white man is actually engaged, married to, or dating a black woman, please understand that there is a deeper love there because he is having to actually fight against societal pressures and indoctrination and go through all of the stares and the rude comments to be with you, and vice versa. Second thing, if that man has such an open-mindedness about him, he is going to be less concerned about gender roles and help out around the house and do things that maybe an alpha male or a hyper masculine energetic person wouldn't necessarily do. Third, white men are unfortunately have twice the graduation rate of black men. So that, combined with the ascending education that's happening for Black women, means that there is a level of educational equality happening there in hypergamy, which, higher educated people have a lower divorce rate as well. Fourth, because of the education and obviously privileges, white men make almost 50% more than Black men. So they can provide for Black women, and they're not necessarily going to feel as competitive with them as many Black men do. Fifth, because they have the money and they're potentially more stable, what will happen is they'll be able to get married sooner. The average marriage age for a white man is 30. The average marriage age for a Black man is closer to 35. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm sure that many of your girlfriends have been waiting around for X, Y, and Z to get ready to get married, but he just hasn't been there from a financial perspective. Again, I want someone who is going to be the best person for you, and sometimes that might be a non-Black man. I want to be very clear here. The marriage rate for Black women is 29%, or close to half of other racial groups. Black women are the only group that has a higher divorce rate than a marriage rate. For every 1,000 Black women that are married, 31 of them are getting a divorce. For every 1,000 unmarried Black women, only 17 of them are getting married. This is the only group where this happens. And because 90 to 95% of you all are getting involved with and marrying Black men, we've got to try something different for a different result.
Is happy.
This is a really great video, and I highly suggest that you watch the original stitch and the next stitch, which is with a dating coach who has helped Black and brown women find successful love. I love the fact that we are now getting more positive information and data regarding interracial relationships, especially looking at Black women who date white men. Hi, my name is Bridget. I'm a global storyteller, and I'm also in an interracial relationship with a white man. For as long as I can remember, in middle school and high school, I've always been very open to dating eccentric different people and people outside of my race. I was born in Italy and my family was from Ghana, and we were immigrants to the United States. And you can only imagine how more open-minded we were about dating or trying new things that were outside of our comfort zone. And so for as long as I can remember, when I had crushes on Hispanic people, on European people, on African American men, all sorts of folks. But it was always so challenging for me to receive the love back from Black men. I was constantly looked at as the immigrant, as the girl who talked too white, someone who was African, and all of these were negative traits that more African American women who were born in the US probably didn't have. And so dating for me from middle school, high school, and into college was extremely challenging. But I was always made fun of for sort of going to where people loved me. And that was most of the time European men. It was without a doubt that I was constantly sought after or wanted to be talked to or was found interesting by European men or even just international men. And I felt that I was not sort of receiving the same love from Black men. Or anytime I talked about having these crushes or wanting to get to know these white men or European men, I was always sort of made to be fun of and always sort of looked at as going against the Black race. And so a lot of my dating experiences with Black men were challenging. As an immigrant, as someone who was still learning what Blackness meant to her when she just moved to the US about 5 to 6 years ago, it felt more natural for me to connect with immigrants, to connect with people who were from the places that I was born, people who had worldly experiences, who just traveled around the world, and that tended to be European men. And I can't even explain to you how much I was loved. Now, granted, I couldn't travel outside of the US, and so I was mostly dating or meeting international men who were here for foreign exchange students. And it felt like they were just in love with me, my full self. And it didn't feel like that when I was with black men. I felt that I was always in competition with other black women, African American women, and it never should have been as such. But I never felt like I was in the running for a serious relationship with black men. Long story short, I'm in a wonderful relationship with my partner. We're going on close to 4.5 years, and we're building a life together. We are building wealth together. We're building a community together. And I just want to challenge black women to think outside the box. Go where the love is.
And is now either married or with a white man.
I highly disagree. I was with a white man, a wealthy one. He tried to unalive me. He was abusive. His family was racist. And the love I have for Isaiah is unmatched. He is everything I love about men. And he is a beautiful, dark-skinned, black man. I don't understand like this hatred towards black men more than white men, because white men have definitely hurt black women much more.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying
So I always tell people, they who you see fit your future and they who loves you, right? But I feel like, I don't know why I've been seeing this all over my For You page, but I've always seen this debate between like black men and white women dating, and then white men and black women dating. And here's my thoughts on it. In this video, the first guy is saying that every black woman that used to date black men is now either married or is with a white man. And here's my thoughts on it. Most black men and black women who date outside their race is like a small percentage, maybe like 10 to 15%, and then the rest of the remaining percent is they marry each other. So for me personally, I think that I'm all for black love. Like, I want to see my people loving each other. But if you decide to date outside your race, just don't carry the narrative that all black men that are dating black women are horrible people. I think that narrative is kind of toxic and it doesn't help the community at all. It actually harms us instead. And also, I advise you, the second guy was a dating coach, and he was basically like, he promotes, black women to try to date, white men. And I mean, if you want them to do that and you're a dating coach and you suggest that, then by all means, do what's best for your client. But don't let them carry that narrative around that black men are not, providers, or they're not protectors, or they're not loving, or they're not supporting, or they're not educated. Don't feed that narrative to them, because then it's so unfair to black men to be talked about like that, and same thing for black women too. Like, I would never ever tell another black man not to date a black woman, because that's just not the narrative that I'm trying to go for. I always want my people to be together, so I'm never going to tell another man, oh, you shouldn't date a black woman because this and that and the third. Like, no, I want my people to date each other. I want them to love on one another. I think it's important for us to start promoting more black love, and just to promote healthy black love at that. And I also wanted to say that love who you love, and do what you do, but just make sure you respect the people that's in your race group. That goes for men and women. But yeah, I'm all for black love. That's just me.
every black woman that I know.
This is why I think relationships between black women and white men work out. From my experience dating both black and white men in the dating scene with comparable incomes and professions, I have noticed that more black men came from homes where their mothers struggled or worked harder than average to make ends meet. A lot of them talk about their mothers with admiration, about the things that their mothers endured, about the things that their mothers fought through, about the lengths that their mothers went to create life for them. under great duress. They often speak about their mothers with a tone of admiration, and one of the most toxic relationships I had ever been in spoke about his mother with a tone of absolute disgust and dismissal. You can guess how I was treated in that relationship. That is when I learned that how a man feels about his mother is probably how that man is going to feel about you. It definitely sets a tone. It's just like girls with daddy issues. However a man sees his mother being treated, it's probably how he's going to treat his future wife. The reason I think that white man, black woman relationships work so well, and yes, I do think that they work better than black man, white woman relationships, is because a lot more white men that I dated came from nuclear homes. A lot more of them had mothers that were either stay-at-home moms that were very pampered and spoiled, and so it was natural and obvious to them that they should pamper and spoil me, or their mothers were working professionals that were well paid, and they saw their mothers being accommodated at home. So while they celebrated my work ethic, they also expected that they would need to accommodate me in some way. I think it's also important to note the role that media plays in this whole conversation. A lot of rom-coms feature white men and white women loving each other, having fun, living romantically, and a lot of stories that include African American love have struggle elements in them. This kind of conditioning teaches young black girls that in order to gain love, we have to work harder, we have to accept more bullshit, we have to hold someone down, and then the love will happen. Whereas our white counterparts and the white men that are dating our white counterparts are conditioned to believe that love is a magical thing and that it's special and that a woman is special just because she is. Like, a woman doesn't have to earn her place in the home. A woman doesn't have to contribute significantly to the home environment other than being herself. I'm not saying that there's not black men that cater to their women, because I believe that there are. And there are plenty of black and African men that will come from homes where the environment was different, and because the environment was different, they will do the work to treat a black woman well. However, there are also black men who have come from homes where their mother struggled and they admired their mother or resented their mother or however they felt about their mothers, and they will turn around and date white women and treat white women significantly better than they will ever treat their black counterparts, because in their minds they see white women as a person to cater to. They see it as standard and obvious for them to treat white women well, but because they never observed their black mothers being treated well, it's hard for them to make a connection that their black wife should be treated well. For this reason, I am an advocate of interracial dating between black women and white men when white men have demonstrated their obsession with their partner, their intent and ability to care for them and cater to them. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of white men who don't take care of their partners. There's lots of white men who are shitty partners. There's lots of white men who don't think that they should contribute to a woman's well-being. I'm not talking about those men, obviously. And I'm not speaking about black men who treat their women well. I'm really just saying that if you're a black woman and you are looking to get catered to and a white man is offering you that, I think you should consider it. Of course, there are drawbacks to interracial relationships. You have to educate your children differently. You have to educate your white partner differently. A white man is still a white man. You still have to explain, things about racism and white supremacy, and you have to help your partner understand that they may have biases or behavior patterns that are rooted in white supremacy that no longer serve the two of you's relationship. However, most of the time when a white man is making that real leap across the board to commit himself in a committed relationship to a black woman, and he comes in with a tone of care and affection, those relationships tend to do pretty well.
So all that being said and done, like I said, divesting is such a big deal now. And when I went to the comment section of the original video that I played in the beginning, I saw a lot of people agreeing with what he said, concurring that his observation is real. I saw some black women talking about how they get princess treatments from their palm-colored partners or husbands in relationships with them. I saw comments like, we're tired of struggle love, we want a ring instead of a baby and stuff like that. And it made me wonder why some of these negative things like struggle love, ring before a baby were associated with black love, like relationships that involves two black partners. Because in my opinion, a relationship working out doesn't really have to do with the race of a person. There are good men in every race and there are bad men in every race. But I have to admit that I might be a little bit biased because I have only dated black men and I've never been with a palm colored man. So this is where I want you guys to chip in, especially if you've seen it firsthand or if you personally have experienced it. If you have been in both kinds of relationship with a black person and also with a non-black person, what is the general consensus? If you have had this experience, would you say you agree with what this man is saying? I'm very curious to know what you guys think. Please drop your comments in the comment section. Do you think this brother is right that black women are happier in relationships with palm colored men after they have dated black men and it didn't work out? Like those interracial relationships are happier or in quotes more successful? Do you think this is true? And if you think this is true, please share why you think this could be the reason in the comment section. I'll be wrapping up this video here. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.